Good day, everyone. You're welcome back to our class on chemistry. And today we are going to be considering IUPAC nomenclature of chemical compounds. So the word IUPAC means International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. So this is an association, and one of their duty is to come up with a new way of naming chemical compounds. And the chemical compounds, we can classify it in various classes. The first class we are going to be considering is the binary compound. So from the word binary means two. Bi means two. So in naming binary compounds, that is compounds with only two elements, the electropositive element, that is the cation, are usually named first, while the electronegative element, that is the anion, comes last, with a modification of name ending with IDE. So now, what is an electropositive element? An electropositive element is any element which, when ionizes, that is it when loses or gain electron, become positively charged. For example, sodium. Sodium is a metal. So which means that electropositive elements are metal. So sodium has a symbol of Na, and it has 11 electrons. So anytime sodium loses one of the electrons, that is the electrochemical configuration is 281. So anytime it loses this electron, it becomes positively charged. So we say that sodium is an electropositive element. So that is, it becomes a cation. This means a cation. A cation is an ion that carries a positive charge. Now we also have electronegative element. Example of an electronegative element is oxygen. So electronegative element is an element which, when ionizes, it loses an electron and becomes, it gains an electron and becomes negatively charged. So it gains an electron and becomes negatively charged. So of course the sodium of the symbol of oxygen is O, and it has 8 electrons. It has 8 electrons. So the electronic configuration is 2,6. So anytime sodium gains 2 more electrons, it becomes negatively charged. That is, this 2 minus means it gains 2 electrons. So we call oxygen rather an electronegative element. So when you have the combination of an electronegative element and an electropositive element together to form a binary compound, in naming such compound, you name the electropositive element first. So let's have an example. Let's have an example. Now I've made mention of sodium. Now this is an electropositive element, which is, the symbol is Na. I've made mention of also oxygen, but let's use another negative element, chlorine. Chlorine is an electronegative element. So the combination of sodium and chlorine, we have sodium being an electropositive element, that is Na+, and chlorine being an electronegative element, Cl-. So when these two combines, this loses an electron and this gains the electron. So when they combine together, they form what we call sodium chloride. You can see sodium chloride. So what do you notice? There is a modification of the name of the electronegative element. That is, the INE that ends the chlorine is being replaced by this IDE. So let's have another example. Let's have another example now. Let's have another example. Let's have magnesium. Let's have magnesium. Magnesium is an electropositive element. That is, when it loses 2 electrons to become positively charged. Oxygen also is an negative electron. It gains 2 electrons to become negatively charged. So the reaction between 2 elements forms a binary compound. That is a compound that has 2 elements. That is, it will have magnesium and oxygen. So in the naming of this, it becomes magnesium. We said, of course, we name the electropositive element first, oxide. We will not say magnesium oxygen, but this oxygen will change to what? Oxide. You can see that the IDE ends the oxygen here instead of GEN. So instead of YGEN, it ends it with what? IDE. So this becomes magnesium oxide. But there are some cases where this rule of naming binary compounds will not work. And what are the cases? When you have a case of 2 non-metals, it will not hold. When you have a case of 2 non-metals, this particular rule cannot hold. For example, if you have hydrogen, and hydrogen and oxygen. So the combination of these 2 will give us what? Water. So anytime you have a non-metal and a non-metal, this rule will not hold. In our next video, we are going to be discussing some other compounds that are not binary compounds. Thank you.